Alright, ladies and gentle folks, Zerglings Marines. I am excited. I hope you are too. We've got MARU for Vitality in the bottom left side of the map. REYNOR in the top right of the map for Basilisk. It's the semi-finals here, the $10,000 Luli Grand Finals. It's called the 2025 Grand Finals, basically saying it's like, hey, this $10,000 tournament wraps up all of the Luli Cups from 2025, even though it's being played in early 2026. REYNOR coming into these quarterfinals in a beautiful fashion off some very good games. MARU, likewise, I think so far has just played the banger series of the tournament in the previous round against Clem's Protoss. I think REYNOR comes in as a guy whose forms look pretty good. He did manage to take down MARU in a very close series at Thunderfire, the big $50,000 tournament in China. And I think the final game, MARU committed so hard to an 8-rack Hellbat Marauder and just could not get anything done. REYNOR picked him apart so flawlessly with Ling counterattacks. REYNOR's gone normal hatch gas pool. This is a command center first for MARU. Just rallying onto that gas. Ooh, double gas. Okay, so command center first into quick tech. This looks like a battle mech build to me, guys. Do you agree? To me, I think, okay, you're doing a greedy start, but then going very quick tech. You still want to get a fast factory and a fast third command center. I have a feeling it's going to be a heavy Cyclone Hellion Banshee opening. Could be pure Blue Flame, actually. Could be like a 2 or 3 factory Blue Flame and then into Cyclones and maybe add the starport a bit later or skip the starport entirely. Yeah, I believe the Grand Finals is today as well, guys. Best of 7 Grand Finals. Other side of the semis is Serral versus Rogue. Matchup which Serral traditionally is very favored, but I think a lot of us are going, yeah, I know he had a good series yesterday against Beyond, but is he actually going to take Rogue down? Because I don't know. Serral's looked a bit more vulnerable. Rogue sometimes plans some very tricky builds. Spoke to a few players about ZVZ recently, though, and they were saying, well, it's hard to practice right now. All right, Reaper will come out and intercept these Zerglings. Two Zergling kills to start. The other 2 Zerglings, of course, hiding to the side. If the Overlord sees the Reaper move out, which does get a tiny glimpse on, the Zerglings will go in. No units here to defend. No wall off. Those 2 Lings are going to have free reign. Third command center spotted as well. Great scout here for REYNOR. Reaper has to come all the way home. This is a nice start for REYNOR, seeing what's going on. It's going for a quick Ling speed. It's a pretty greedy build here for MARU. So MARU would be kind of ahead of the curve. But I think now with all that information, REYNOR knows to just hold the drone key down. He's already got exceptionally fast creep. I love that REYNOR's the only player currently going creep tumor before inject, because look at how far his creep will get out on this map. And with delayed Hellions, it's going to be especially hard to slow that down. Queen's pushing the Reaper back on the north side as well. Banshee's starting cloak there as well. Someone was asking earlier, did I read wrong? Did Clem play Protoss? Was that a mistake? We said, yep, Clem's been playing Protoss for a year and a half. They're like, well, I guess that's what I get for watching StarCraft only casually. Well, if you go back like a year ago, 9 months ago, there was a ton of uploads of Clem playing PvT against top players, but I don't know, there just haven't been as many run-ins recently. I feel like he's somehow been dodging the Terran players in the brackets recently. But no, you are correct. And we get that question about 50 times a live stream if we are casting Clem's Protoss. So don't worry, you're not the only one. He's mostly a Terran player, so easy to miss. Quick lair here for REYNOR. Not crazy fast, but, you know, well-timed. 4th hatchery on the front as well. MARU is going Hellion Banshee behind this. Into 4 gas, and I think the moment that Overlord's gone, we'll see 3 or 4 factories go down. Maybe 2 factories and 2 armories? Yeah, 2 armories off 1 fact. Wow. Okay, MARU definitely wants to play mech. I don't think this should be very surprising for REYNOR. Yeah, he builds a Roachhorn. I think he's well prepared for this. Absolutely, this is live, guys. $10,000 online tournament here, held by the Chinese guys that run the Luli Cup. Ooh, REYNOR with a quick runaway. Good call, man. So many players, when they delay spores this long, get caught out and lose 10 drones. He's going to lose none. She does think about turning around. REYNOR, transfuse. Oh, I knew REYNOR was going to do that. He's like, I don't want to do another Spore Trick. Let's just use one of our many transfusers. Evo Chamber placement's a bit awkward, creates these weird choke points around his base, but unlikely that really matters too much. We've got Banshee Speed coming in after Banshee Cloak. Just 4 Roaches building for now for REYNOR. And it's going to be hard to keep pace with a Terran whose 4th command center has already started at 5 minutes and 45 seconds. What in the ungodly heck? Hellions coming in with the scan. Zerglings looking to zone them. And REYNOR should be able to very quickly replace this creep spread. Oh, good scout for REYNOR. Yet again, REYNOR's had all the information in this game. I have a feeling MARU's economic growth is so good, though, that if he doesn't find a timing attack, he might just lose anyway. I really want to see REYNOR hit a very crisp ball in. I know that's what Solar would do here. I think REYNOR has to be decisive. Because MARU's just got such fast upgrades. He went CC first into this. Big thank you, Sorta, for the raid. Sorry I didn't say thanks yesterday. I didn't notice it. I appreciate you so much for raiding me 2 days in a row, man. Banshee's flying in. They've got speed. They are incredibly quick. They'll pretty much always be able to find at least a little bit of damage. Not pulling these drones away. A little sloppy, I got to say, there for REYNOR. Spore Crawler in the main, only going to give partial coverage as well. REYNOR has such a high work account. He can afford a few losses, but this is pushing REYNOR to build more drones, to go Infestation Pit. I don't know if REYNOR wants to play late mid-game against MARU, let alone late game. He's building 2 more queens right now. 11 queens. It feels like REYNOR's accepting going to late game against MARU. Don't get me wrong, MARU hasn't shown us Ghost Mech in a long time, which is the ultimate late game composition. So I don't think he's willing to play that. I think he'll just play more of like a marauding mech style where he's running at REYNOR from all sides with Hellions and Cyclones, and then big tank pushes are coming in. And REYNOR is one of the best Ravager Ling Bane users in the world, but it's so hard to deal with a mech player once they're maxed out. Look, he's already got a Raven in the mech's Blue Flame. And no Cyclones. He does not believe in the Cyclone, MARU. Gonna have 2 reactors, 3 tech labs. I wouldn't mind seeing 2 or 3 more factories now that MARU's on 8 gas. Banshee's coming in on the north side. No detection just yet, but he's gonna back away, knowing Overseers can't be too far away. Mech's so hard to deal with at 4K MMR. Dude, it's one of those things where I really loved Vipers against. I thought Roach Hydra Viper was such a nice one-size-fits-all style, and they took away the ability for Vipers to abduct siege tanks, and it's made me a very sad boy. Ooh, nice Ling wrap around. Delectable engagement there for REYNOR. Catches all those Hellions. That's going to swing the units lost tab a bit closer to his side. Still 500 resources ahead for MARU, and MARU's building Thors in those 8 factories. Not to mention Command Center number 5. Almost finished already before 9 minutes. Spires on the way. He's going to go Corruptors as well as potentially Vipers to deal with the Banshees. So it's going to be Ravager, Lingbane, Corruptor, Viper. Now that's a good army for dealing with what MARU's got, but as I said, Ravagers 3 supply each. Lingbane very vulnerable to Blue Flame Hellions and Widow Mines. You can pull this off, but it is so hard to have the correct balance of units, especially when you've got 11 queens, which right now, I would say are wasting way too much army supply. Is it just me or are there not a lot of Widow Mines used? No, we've seen a ton of Widow Mines. Lots and lots of Widow Mines with Bio. Yeah. Sometimes people will stay Siege Tank style, but we've seen mostly Widow Mine style. You might be seeing less because the meta's shifted where a lot of Zergs are opening heavy Hydra to counter the Widow Mines. And that's going to push more Terrans into playing heavier Siege Tank. Here we go. Hellbat tank coming forwards. Big Ling flank down south. Not many Banelings, which means these Hellbats are going to be a menace, but the Blinding Clouds. Blinding Clouds. Lings coming in for the flank from behind. Those Lings doing pretty well, but they are a little bit clumped. Only going for 1 Siege Tank at a time, and feels like they don't really have the best upgrades, those Zerglings, but the tank push gets cleared, and that was an excellent hold. Queens are a little slow to get down here, and Biles will take out the last Siege Tank. Good hold there for REYNOR, who's actually out trading MARU right now. Banshees come in. There's still 1 Spore Crawler, not to mention Abducts could be nice here, or Parasitic Bombs, one or the other. Viper's not using either just yet, and the Banshees will have room to back away. REYNOR's 5th base setup survives. He's going to take a 6th in the top left corner, but his creep is being kept back, and MARU is so rich he might be able to trade negatively and still win this game. Because he's just so in the face of MARU, of REYNOR, sorry. He does start +3 vehicle weapons, doesn't have the money for +3 armor, but he's got vehicle plating, 7 Hellbats at a time, all these command centers finishing up, and I really do worry for REYNOR that he's going to win a few fights, but if he can't actually break into MARU's base, MARU might actually out-Zerg the Zerg player. Thor's there. Oh, the Viper's coming in. Massive power bomb. Blinding Cloud on the Thors and Parabomb on the Banshees. Lynx come in for the flank. They managed to take out a bunch of the siege tanks. Nice moves here, but these are only +1 Adrenal Zerglings. +2 melees on the way now. He does get Lings in the third base. Hellbat's going to guard the natural quite well. We'll see how good REYNOR's targeting is with these Zerglings. 4 SCVs going down. Maru's pull away on the workers is being good. He's going to attack the front at the same time. Banespeed somehow still not ready. I cannot believe he's held this many units with just Ravagers and Zerglings. REYNOR is actually just built differently, isn't he? Still building Roaches, Lings, and Vipers. This is the problem. So REYNOR gets stuck on this comp where he just builds the same units. He's now got triple Evo going, so he's got 3/3 range Carapace, and that +2 melee is almost finished, which is really nice to see. Lings are going to try to run in the left. Blue Flame Hellbats, more than a match for that, not to mention the Banshees there. A couple of things do get into the third base, so at least this buys time. South side is a planetary, whereas the middle base is an orbital. Ravagers coming forward. There's no oomph in this army. REYNOR is literally trying to beat mech with pure Zerglings and a handful of Ravager Viper. The man is actually insane, isn't he? I don't know if this is a good idea. Like I said, his style is fragile. Yeah, he's trading evenly with a Terran player, which is amazing. Terran player has 70 workers and 1 billion mules. He's up to 7 orbitals already. MARU has speed ran towards the late game. If MARU adds Ghost to this, I think REYNOR has a 0% chance of victory. Remember, guys, 2022, MARU faced off with Serral. Excellent match. MARU destroyed him with Ghost Mech in a single map. Only time he's ever destroyed Serral, really. Decided not to play it in the rest of the series. Hasn't played it since then, ever again. We've all been sitting there scratching our heads saying, isn't that the best late game style? Play mech, add Ghosts once you're on 5 base, and then you can't lose. Because if he EMPs these Vipers, I mean, it's game over. Thor's getting surrounded by Zerglings, but the Hellbats come up from behind. Thor's and High Impact Payload also have 11 range on their anti-air, which means these Vipers will go down very quickly. They also prioritize air units over ground as a feature of the Thor specifically. It's because otherwise they'd spend too much time shooting Zerglings and they wouldn't do their job of targeting mutas back in the day, so they gave them targeting priority. There's more Hellbats than Banelings right now, Pig. Yeah, you're not wrong, chat. Well, 34 Banelings now, so he's corrected that. The thing is, can you actually get the Banelings to connect with said Hellbats? Hellions up north, no spines there. Lings are quick to respond, but Blue Flame Hellions are pretty damn good against them. Oh, man. Oh, 6 drones and a pack of Zerglings go down. Needs to wait for the Ravager Bane to clear this up. And she's going to try to head over to this base as well now that a Spore's died and the other one is not rooted. Oh my god, the Banshee's going to take out the hatchery. That's a double base snipe, including one of the crucial first 5 bases of REYNOR. Parasitic bombs do land on those Banshees, which means they'll take a fair bit of damage, but it's a lot of Viper energy. It takes a while to recover that. 3/3 is almost finished on the range Carapace. REYNOR's going to swap into 8 Infestors with Burrow. REYNOR is a massive fan of Neuroparasite Infestor. They are generally a unit that can counter every mech unit by mind controlling it, but especially the Thor is huge. If you get 8 Neurals on these 8 Thors, I mean, the swing, you were using 16 supply of Infestors to steal, what's 8 times 6? I'm not good with numbers. 48 supply of the Terran army. Won't just stop damaging the Zerg, it will actually actively start killing the other Terran units. Like, the actual swinging potential of a fight with Neural is one of the most insane moves you can pull off. Target priority is just built into how the unit works. It's not just because they have longer range. If they've got Zerglings in front of them, they'll still shoot the Mutalisks, guys. Even though the Mutas are behind the Zerglings. One of the very few units that behaves that way in the game. Maybe the only one. Nice Biles coming down. Good Blinding Clouds, but he doesn't have the Infestors ready just yet. Oh, good Bile Blinding Cloud combo. Very nicely done. He's lost 2 Vipers this game. Hasn't picked off any Thors just yet. Units lost tab. 3,000 now in favor of MARU. And REYNOR, like I said, I think he should have hit a timing attack. I don't think Serral, Solar, look at this build, scout everything that REYNOR scouted, the greediest mech build of all time, and let him get away with it. But this is classic Reynor. I was talking to him about the other day. We were talking about ZVP, and I was saying I think ZVP's always been a matchup where, yeah, sometimes you can win by just being better than the other guys. But if they play correctly, I think the best way to play as a Zerg against Protoss is you should be mixing in some gambles, and preferably a lot of gambles, because you kind of have to use your production advantage to catch them off guard. And he said, yeah, that's why I hate ZVP. It doesn't really match up with my playstyle, you know? And I was like, well, yeah, you like to just get in the game and just play a standard style and then figure it out on the fly. And that works against Bio, and it doesn't work as well against Mech nor against Protoss, which is why Reynor struggles against both of those. And he agreed with that, but he also kind of realized this is just a feature of his play. Nice move. What's he going to kill these with? Bios? Oh, he's got Infestors under there. Watch out. Oh, no. Reynor only bioed down one of the Banshees. Okay, the Queens do take out 2 more. How many Infestors did he lose? No Infestors, just Zerglings. Okay, that was fine. The army jumped up on him, and I thought he was going to lose a bunch more. Oh, guys! Maru's decided to win today. Oh my god, he's building 4 barracks, a second engineering base so he can make double bio upgrades, and a Ghost Academy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Maru has decided to stop throwing late games. Oh my god. Reynor's in trouble. Command Center gets cancelled at the front. Here come those Infestors, but they're getting focused down. A bunch of Neurals do land on some Thors. Maru needs to target those Infestors down. He does end up doing so. A bunch of Terran units die to Biles, but a lot of Infestors go down there. I think he lost all 8 Infestors. Units lost time 3,000 in favor of Maru, which means that fight was relatively equal. And remember, Reynor has a much bigger bank. Those transitions incredibly expensive. He's just going Ghost, not Bio, just Ghost, guys. Ghost Mech. Exactly what I was saying Maru's refused to do since 4 years ago when he dominated Serral with this style. But right now he's behind on numbers. No Hellbats! He has no Hellbats! Amazing Blinding Cloud Zergling surround! Oh my god, where the heck are the Hellions? Where are the Hellions? He didn't remax his Hellions. His whole army gets wiped. He loses 10 SCVs and a planetary. A massive blunder for Maru. That is one of the biggest things you have to pay attention to. Not just against Zergs, but against Reynor, the guy who loves mass Zergling. The first thing you have to replenish whenever there's any trading is Hellions. And you don't even want to build Hellbats. You want to build Hellions so they rally to the front faster and then you transform them into Hellbats. Because any moment where you don't have those available is a problem. Oh, Maru. He was too slow to repair. You need to repair immediately so that you block the Zerglings. He wasn't able to. The Lings snipe a planetary god tier move here for Reynor, who's going to try and burrow behind that base. But wait, burrow has been done. Ravagerling are going to attack this base as well. He's got enough biles. There's no way to repair that. Oh my lord. Reynor just running away with this game. Huge mistake. Maru had plenty of time to rebuild Hellions and spread that army out, but he stayed clumped. Didn't have any Hellions there. He was too preoccupied with going to the next step of the game, and unfortunately that Ghost transition that would have served him so well is now going to be massively handicapped by losing a lot of units and key infrastructure, now being down in the trading. But he has 11 orbitals. He can drop 1 billion mules as long as he can defend like a 5th base here and just survive. He'll be okay, but all these orbitals are easy pickings. I think Reynor should keep attacking, keep trying to kill these orbitals. Reynor has 5 more Ravagers, so he's going to have 15 Ravagers. He's got a lot of Banelings. 19 Banelings he'll have. Which are good for clearing Hellbats and Ghosts, but not much else. Very bad against spread out tanks. TIL is Today I Learned, guys. Yeah. Like, today I learned Maru does remember how to play Ghost Mech. TIL. Maru's going to do it for us. Things going down the south side. Yeah, it's undefended, man. Cracklings. 3-3 Cracklings. Such good units. Viper's coming in. Massive blinding clouds. Wouldn't mind a few abducts on these libs. Tries to drop some biles, but he misses them. Guys, you notice these little circles? You've got to aim for that circle beneath the lib, not the graphic of the lib itself, because StarCraft 2 is not a top-down perspective. You're on kind of a 45-degree angle or so, depending on if you're staring at the bottom or the top of your screen. You've actually got a very different angle you're looking at the ground at, depending on where it is on your screen, which is kind of funny. Nice scan there to clear that up. Good dodges. 14 Ravagers, 19 Banelings there. Maru's only on 41 SCVs, but he doesn't need any more than that. And now that he's got Mass Ghosts, I think he might, despite that blunder earlier, still have a really good chance. He's just got so much money in this game. Banelings rolling in. The SCVs will go down. Is that really crucial damage? I mean, yeah, I think it matters. I do think MARU should rebuild some SCVs. He's kind of hyper-maxing right now and just saying, I've got 11 orbitals, who cares? And I actually think MARU, while being down 10,000 bank, is winning this game. Okay, this is a bizarre decision. No planetary in the north, and now he's going to take the south? If Rain is quick enough to attack the north, Maru's in huge trouble. Oh, no Hellbats and Ghosts guarding the army. Bit of a mistake with his positioning. Despite that, Thors are tanky as all heck. They take a while to go down. Bunch of drones going down to a Banshee in the top left. MARU here playing an excellent style. Oh, the double lib spread. Look at that. 3 Ravages for nothing. MARU on sieges and dodges the Biles again. But MARU is right now playing a dangerous game. He's expanding to both sides at once, and that's impossible to hold. It is just not possible. Blinding Clouds coming in. A Ducks on the Liberators. If they do re-siege, they will get Bile down. The Vipers will escape there. Command Center has to lift off. Lingbane Ravager up here. He's going to continue to attack. A few of the Lings go for the tank. Oh, I like the spreads on these Zerglings. Getting on top of those siege tanks, dragging the fire away. Gets himself another planetary there. Pushes MARU back into this corner of the map. MARU can defend this base, but he can't be expanding top and bottom at the same time. I've often called this MARU's Serral mistake, because Serral would drag him to late game more than anyone else. And MARU would always kind of get excited and try to expand to two sides. And against the Zerg, who's just desperately trying to find an angle that's not well defended so they can take a good fight and trade their bank before you get too much stuff. It's a godsend. If you just spread your army out like that, Zerg loves it, because now they know where to fight you. 10 tanks, 15 ghosts, 3 Thors, 1 Raven. A lot of the Thors have gone down in this game. Still, 9 Ravages, 110, 105 Zerglings. 12 Queens seems like too many. Not sure if you guys agree on this, but I feel like that's 24 supply of units that, ever since they defended the Banshees earlier in the game, they're just not useful at engaging the mech army. They're too slow. And 24 supply at max out is a very big amount to not be in your army. I also don't know if you ever fight this army head on. I think if MARU pre-spreads well enough, you cannot engage this. I don't care how good your spellcasting is. If REYNOR engages this while down 35 army supply into a perfect spread of Hellbat, Tank, Thor, Ghost, I do not think this works. And I think especially if MARU lands a few EMPs on those Vipers, this may be the most one-sided trade ever. It's only 3,000 in favor of MARU, which is a testament to how good REYNOR's engagements have been. Does land some Biles there for just a few tank shots, not bad. Hellbat's wandering a bit deep on creep, will go down. 175 army supply for MARU. Ooh, he's got plenty of tanks and libs covering the counter. Ghosts go forward. REYNOR tries to run in. Biles spreading across the front line. Banelings clear a lot of the Hellbats. 1 or 2 Thors go down as well. Not bad. But it is a 2,000 resource negative trade. Those Banelings ain't be coming back. Trying to go Infestors again, but this army is so hard to deal with. And I wonder if Broods would be good against this, because there's not many Thors. Ooh, Baneling's going to get some big juicies on those Hellbats and Ghosts. Blinding Clouds landing on the Thor on the right side. Biles landing across the whole spread. REYNOR killed more than I thought he would. But now he's down 7,000. Another 2,000 resources behind. And he's losing bases at the same time. I just don't think... I think if MARU sets up somewhere, you have to fight elsewhere. I think that's the entire game plan for REYNOR. He's going to try to play Corruptors now. Corruptors are good for dealing with libs. Could leave them in Corruptor form. He might go Broodlords. If he goes Broodlords, though, it has to be like, surprise, here's 20 Broodlords. Enough to one-shot Thors. And he'd need to have about 8 Infestors moving in and out for the Fungal. MARU's broke, though, Pig. Very good call, guys. He doesn't have a big bank. That's scary. But he's got 11 orbitals. 10 orbitals. He did lose one. Every mule he drops makes up for that low economy. He's rebuilding some SCVs now. Taking this bottom right is huge. MARU rightfully is slowing the game down. Do you guys think if REYNOR didn't go Broods and just kept trading and kept countering really hard, brought Vipers in on the left as well, and then swung back in on the right, he could have broken him just with the superior bank, maybe? At this point, going to Broodlords, the reason you could argue this is a mistake for REYNOR is he dropped his drone count so low, he doesn't have enough mineral gas to make enough Broodlords. So now he's making Broodlords, but he's going back to droning and gases at the same time, which means any semblance of tempo in this game has just been completely abandoned by REYNOR. He's basically saying, I'm accepting this super long game because I'm going to give you a few minutes now to drop mules, to rebuild, because I'm doing the same thing. And that means, inevitably, this will be a game not of, I can take more of the map and swarm you. It's going to be a game of distraction. Dude, why is my room so hot? Let me turn my aircon on. I swear it's not working. Yeah, I don't know how long this game's going to go for, guys. So, sorry, I had to do that. Somehow the aircon was not on. Kind of bad when you've got a big streaming rig just pumping heat out in front of you. 14 tanks, 3 Thors, 11 ghosts, 1 Raven, 7 Libs, 9 Hellbats. There's 5 medevacs as well for healing up. Maru's army is kind of amazing. He's also got +3 armor coming in for those ghosts. He's only missing +3 attack for the air and +3 attack for the ghosts as well. Libs coming forward. They do have range. He never made Caduceus Reactor for the medevacs. Ooh, I like this. Attacking where his opponent is not. Last Bile misses the Lib, though. Very nice repositioning on these Libs from Maru. Lings will clear out this base. He's going to get a bunch of SCVs, a gas. The Ravagers will take care of the Liberator as well. Ooh, and he's going to go forward with some big parasitic bombs. The second one is massive. Look at that one. It's hitting 3 units. 4 units even. But a quick unsiege once again. Ooh, not enough units to kill this. I do not like this move for REYNOR. Does get a bunch of SCVs, so it's not too bad. Almost biles down a Hellbat as well. 5 more Corruptors and +3 air weapons coming out here for REYNOR. REYNOR does not have air armor, which means his Thors will be relatively weak to things like Vikings. Spores trying to move forward. Broodlords with him as well. Gotta watch. He needs to rotate the Infestors for the Fungal. Ooh, he just lost a Viper or 2. It's up to 8 dead Vipers in this game. He's only got 1 alive here. Big counter push on the right side. Maru defending the left with a bunch of Ghost Lib. Shoves the right with the tanks, Thors, and Hellbats. Maru does not need to speed this game up. I've seen him throw kind of advantages against REYNOR before by getting over eager and getting his army surrounded by, you know, spellcasters, right? Blinding Clouds, Neurals. Just got to be careful. I love that he's been denying these bases. I just don't want to see Maru, now that he's got a solid lead, throw it away. I really have been wanting to see someone play Mass Broodlord versus the new Thor for a while. And I think the new Broodlord does beat the Thor if you use terrain and spellcasting with them. And like the Thors get stuck, so you're only fighting 1 or 2 at a time. Because all your Broodlords can stack and shoot at once. The problem I've run into is ghosts. You need to be very good with your Fungal against the ghosts. Because ghosts have 125 hit points now. And they just don't die to Broodlings. Like, you need so many Broodlord attacks to actually kill them. So you really need Fungals to lock down the ghosts so they're not sniping you at the same time. What was the old Thor? What's the new Thor? The new... Sorry, did I say new Thor? I meant new Broodlord, guys. The Broodlord shoots faster now. Sorry, I misspoke. The new Thor. I mean, the Thor did lose an armor point a few years ago. It does have 1 less armor, which makes it much weaker to Broodlings and Zerglings. But no. I just meant the Broodlord shoots instantly at max range now, whereas it used to wait for 2 seconds before it started firing. Unless it got closer to the enemy. Broodlord's getting transfused. Infestors are here. These Infestors are too clumped for REYNOR. He needs to be rotating 1 to the front at a time. But he's losing Infestors, Spores, and Spines. Excellent play for Maru. Bullying him back with Siege Tanks. Siege Tanks are meant to be really bad against Broods, but REYNOR's looking a little bit too afraid here. And I think he should have been getting a volley or 2 off there, but because of the constant scans, Maru has the vision advantage. He can just scan anytime he wants, and REYNOR feels like EMP's going to land on him if those Infestors go too far forward. All right, Broods finally come forward and take out a Thor. A couple of the Vipers there, abducts the Viking, realizes he has nothing that shoots up. The Spores are going to move over and root on it. Lingbane breaks the right side position. The Ghosts, though, are going to try and get vengeance. Just clears the Banelings on the SCVs. And, of course, he answers with 11 mules. Maru is in Disgusto mode right now, guys. He wants the viewers who are Zerg to vomit all over watching that. He's like, oh, you killed my SCVs. Oh, no. Oh, no, you killed my SCVs. I really care. I totally care. Broodlords from the right side going to start picking off the tanks. But a few good shots off there. Is REYNOR being a little too careful, perhaps just slightly. If he goes over eager, he will get all of his Broodlord snipe, but you can see, when he finds a Thor on its own, it is really good for him. He does need some mobile anti-air, though. 5 Vikings building at a time now for Maru. Units lost have 9,000 in favor of the Korean Terran. REYNOR needs to keep trying to retake this base and mine it out. He's got to mine this base. I can't believe Maru's getting to mine one of these middle bases. I mean, I can. He's Maru, and he's done a really good job to secure it, but also I don't know how the hell you win a Zerg if Maru manages to mine this bad boy out. Ooh, I love this choice. Massling counterattack. The infrastructure is really vulnerable here as well. Actually runs away earlier than I would have liked. A bit pedantic, man. He could have broke down the sensor tower. Some depots and that sort of stuff. He's going to go burrow some Zerglings around, force a few scans out. Good call there. But now he goes back in after the Hellions have moved into position. Broodlords will find themselves a tank. And you can see once you get those Broodlings out, they give you such good vision from really far away, which is really nice. Mules are AI. They're replacing the jobs. Oh, no. Gosh, I can only imagine the power bills in this Terran base with that many mules going. Thors and Hellbats getting jumped on. Nice little engagement. I mean, Reynor's the king of this sort of stuff, but the Hellions are going to punish him. Blue Flame Hellions should be able to chase those Ravagers down, I think. Ravagers trying to drop some biles there, but the Ravagers will fall. Zerglings on their own are going to struggle really hard. And oh, he has no mobile anti-Hellion. Oh no, he's got to bring Broodlord Infestor to deal with this guy's countering Hellion run-bys with Broodlord Infestor. Because Reynor's actually swapped to an even mechier army than the mech player. He's the slow, immobile guy with the bad army now. He's not as good at moving. These Hellions causing a ruckus. Getting around, causing damage. The Broodlords are running this way and that. The Lings finally deal with those ones. Hellbats have morphed down here. Maru maybe diving unnecessarily deep, as obviously there will be Zerg coming back to deal with him, but I think he's decided he wants to clear Reynor's tech out and force him to rebuild. Viking standing over spores. Not a great move there for Maru. He finally corrects it. Libs have sieged in the other direction. There are still another wave of Hellions coming down south. Just going to morph Hellbat. Zerglings can't do anything against that. Reynor says, I'll fight fire with fire of my own. I'll just go around. There's so many Hellbats being rebuilt. Oh! Maru goes forward and he snipes like 7 Broodlords. Remember, there was over 20 Broodlords. He's down to 15 now. A lot of ghosts do get caught by Fungal. Ooh, that was crazy. 25 drones just went down to Hellbats on the left side, though. Reynor gets Zerglings in 4 bases simultaneously, clearing only 2 SCVs, but a lot of buildings. At the same time, though, losing 26 drones is disastrous for the Italian. Broodlords there. How many Broodlords has he actually lost this game, guys? It was 8 Broodlords that went down to those ghosts. Oh, man. Maru's bank looking pretty light. He's down 13,000 resources. His hive has also died, guys. He's rebuilt. He hasn't rebuilt his tech. His main's been dying for like 4 minutes. He hasn't rebuilt Infestation Pit or Spire. I think because he's so broke. He's basically just building what he can right now, and then he's saying, that's it. That's all I'm going to have in this game. But it does seem like a pretty big oversight to not rebuild a Spire or an Infestation Pit. Your 2 most important structures in a game like this. Spawning pool pretty big as well. Reynor is broke. I think he's saying, this is it. This is my army. I'm going to have to win with this army. 25 drones, 28 SCVs. Still a planetary up in the bottom right side. And Hellbat's guarding this base as well. Tanks and Thors holding this position. The main base of Zerg has gone down. Maru decides to give a bit of a pardon to that Infestation Pit. Didn't realize that Infestation Pit enjoyed going to islands. Dumb joke. I think Reynor's dead, guys. How do you win this game? Basically, it all comes down to this one Viper. You see this one Viper? He needs to land a parasitic bomb in the middle of all the Viking lib with a fungal. And then, if he can kill all the air with those 2 spells, and then neural the Thors, then he can win. Pulling that off is going to be nearly impossible. It's going to be so hard. He's down 30 army supply. He's got... It's 18 Infestors. Only 18 Broodlords. I don't think that's enough. Anti-armor missile is going to go down on those Broods as well. Plus 2 damage to all of your attacks. You know, it might even be worth leaving Thors in splash damage mode sometimes. I guess the problem is they have shorter range. I think it's only 10 range splash damage mode. Zerglings for Reynor desperately trying to get in for the counterattack, but Maru may actually be too big to fail at this point. He's got such a giant army, so many orbitals. It's an issue. Reynor has money in Overseers. I told you there's always money in the Overseer stand, Michael. Yeah, he did make 550 minerals and gas of overseers. I don't think I mind that decision though. The vision was worth it earlier on. It's even more Thors are being added right now. And this Thor Ghost army, I mean, we saw it 4 years ago against Serral, crushed Serral with it. Looked like Serral couldn't do anything against it in the late game. We always said, well, we know it's hard to get there, but surely that mech into Ghost Mech style is kind of the ultimate late game. Snipes going down. Well, not actually, sorry. The Corruptor's kind of poked forward and then pulled back. Maru's getting pushed into a corner. And I don't think there's anything he can do here because Maru's got endless scans. And look at this sniper. Oh, he runs forward. Only gets 1 EMP, unfortunately. Does snipe a full energy infester as well, though. I just feel like Reynor's being bullied. Finally, rebuilds a spawning pool here. He's a bit stressed out. They're really worried about letting Maru just get to the late game of mech. Double fungals go out. The Broodlords throw some nice waves. The Libs doing really good damage, though. Oh, massive Libs. The tank volley obliterates about 6 infestors. The Broodlord's doing amazing damage. There was some good blinding clouds. There's still a lot of air units in there, and the snipes are landing on the Broods. Really good snipes. This fight is so messy. The ground army getting blitzed by the the Broodlords, sorry. But the Ghosts are still there, as are the Vikings and the Libs. And Reynor cannot contest that army. To the surprise of very few, I think. I don't think you can let Maru get to that stage of the game, or it is pretty much a foregone conclusion. Alright, guys. Maru's in the bottom right side of the map. It's Winter Madness. Reynor in the top left going pool first against 2-Rax Reaper. Is pool first good against 2-Rax Reaper, guys? I think if he goes gas pool, he's pretty happy. But just a regular pool first. How quick does that gas go down? Starts a drone. He's going to rally that drone to take the gas, is he? He's not building another drone. He's going to build 6 Zerglings. Ooh. Yucky. 6 Zerglings, not the best here. Because that's going to be fully walled by the time those Lings arrive, I think. If the Lings get in the base, there's an argument you could make this work out okay. Your Queen is early, so obviously it's nice to make sure you don't lose any drones to the first Reaper. Gas is going to be very late. It's going to be an awkward situation here for Reynor. I think Reynor was really expecting some sort of like no scout 1-Rax expand, and he wants to punish that sort of greed. You know what? Oh, dude, he needs to immediately dodge with these Lings when he sees this Reaper. Reynor, he sees it. Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. Oh my god. Okay, calculated. But he's going to run into the second Reaper a moment later, so it's not really going to matter unless he gets a lucky surround. Luckiest surround of all time. Luckiest surround of all time. No, but Maru's not watching. Oh, Maru's actually... Maru, are you washed, mate? Get in there. Oh, he's going to cancel the command center, maybe. If he committed to everything to the command center, he would have killed it there. He was forced to cancel. As it is, he's got 2 Zerglings in the main, 4 on the natural, 2 fight the Reaper. 1 SCV has gone down so far. Going to get... Oh, nice SCV micro in the main. And the Reapers are going to deal with it on the natural as well. 1 SCV for 6 Zerglings. A little bit of lost building time. And now Maru happily going to 5 Reapers as well. Beautiful defense for Maru. I think Reynor should have committed more to killing the command center, guys. 2 SCVs attack the two Zerglings on the SCV. 4 on the command center. There's only 330 hit points. And I think he would have done really well. I don't think he was necessarily planning to build 5 Reapers. I think this is a reaction to the high stressful situation he was in. He said, oh, just keep building Reapers for now until I'm sure I'm safe. He's got Tech Lab and a reactor. Already a 3rd command center on the high ground. Ling speed coming in. Maru, of course, forcing Reynor into the Ling speed. Creep Tumor on the high ground and trying to finish droning up these 2 bases so he can secure the 3rd when Ling speed is finished. Oh, yep. Watch out. Okay, Reaper's going to be dancing. Oh, 1 Reaper goes down, though. And did he only get 1 Zergling there? Oh, because he was shooting the Queen. Guys, why the hell was Maru shooting the Queen there? What the heck? Did he not retarget? Or did he manually target the Queen? That was a bad... I think that might have been a misclick for Maru. If he killed all the Zerglings, he wouldn't have lost that Reaper, because the Zerglings are the damage dealers there, not the Queen. I mean, he wants the Queen, but he's not going to get her. Oh my god, he's trapped. Oh, the grenade! The grenade saves 2 of his Reapers deep in the red, but can they even get home? If these Lings click directly to the natural, I don't think these Reapers can get home. Looks like he's just going to go over to this ledge, hide behind the minerals, and maybe jump up and down the cliff. Or hide in a corner and hope he doesn't get found. If I were him, I'd probably try to hide up here, somewhere closer to the Zerg side of the map where REYNOR might not look, because this is too obvious. I say it's too obvious, but REYNOR maybe not going to find it. Interesting. Evo Chamber's on the way nice and early. REYNOR's going to use that extra gas that he's got on 2 base to start a nice fast carrot base. Third hatchery is, of course, later than the third command center of Terran, but Terran's pinned on 2 bases for a while longer, so it is playable, and the Reapers actually have survived. All Zerglings on their own will go down to 3 Reapers. He doesn't want to actually fight this straight away. He just wants to group up and jump on top with all of the Zerglings. That's what he's now going to do. Maru's going to try and enact attacks. He gets one. Can he get a second Zergling? No, no focus fire for Maru. No focus fire whatsoever. I think that was only 1 more Zergling. Yeah, for those 3 Reapers. I think Beyond might have done a bit better there, Beyond or Clem. But Maru, these days, more of a strategy player than anything else. Speaking of strategies, what the fudge? He's swapping mech. Guys, it's 2-1-1 into... Oh, it's not... No, it's not mech. It's... Is this just going to be drilling claws really early? It's 3 barracks into 2... Or 2 barracks into 2 factory. Is he going to spam Widowmine drops? Oh, he is, isn't he? I think he's going to go drilling claws, and he's going to start, and he's just going to like drop Widowmines. Remember, we've seen REYNOR omega tilted by Widowmine drops against both Maru and Clem in recent months, where they come in and they just keep sending these 4 Widowmine drops in, and they just waste so much of his time because of that limited Zerg anti-air in the mid game. Safety tank on the high ground, Sergeant Chadhammer. She assumes the position, covering both the natural weak point and half of the 3rd mineral line. Oh, this is a really interesting game. So REYNOR's playing Banelings. Looks like he's going to go like 5 gas Hydras here. Takes a 4th and a 5th at the same time. Remember, this 4th on the left, very vulnerable to libs. It doesn't look like Maru's taking advantage of that just yet. I don't know if you guys saw Beyond versus Serral yesterday, but the strategy Beyond did on this map was absolutely brutal. Super early lib to secure the spot. Chadhammer, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Chadhammer. Oh, Maru just killed his entire mineral line. The amount of friendly fire there. It says 17 kills. I don't even think there was 17 Zerglings there. Maybe there was, but I think about 10, 15 SCVs have gone down. It says 12 SCVs died. That's because the tank not only damaged so many of them down to 1 or 2 hit points, and the Zerglings finished them, he also friendly fire straight up killed 3 of his own SCVs and put the rest deep in the red to get 1 shot by the Zerglings. Brutal mistake there for Maru. Not having enough Marines at home and clumping his SCVs so badly when he mineral walked them. Even in that situation, it's rare to have the tank shot land quite so flush. This is those drops I was talking about, guys. It's going to spam a few of these Widowmine drops across to frustrate REYNOR, but so far REYNOR's defense with Spores and Queens has been really good. Just worried about Libs getting in the back. For now, it's just a Widowmine. And we'll get another one in there. No serious damage. Just got to make sure you have a Spore on each base, and you clear these up, surely. Oh, Widowmine's going to get in the natural. Gets a few drones and Zerglings. Very frustrating to deal with, but I think REYNOR, it's the amount of APM and disruption that really throws him off here, and you can see he's just not dealt with it. Like, now he builds the Spore, but I mean, surely the moment you see Widowmine drops like that, you should be building that Spore earlier. Manually targets and does get himself a few more drones. That Widowmine also manually targets. Didn't clear. He let them both fire twice. This is what I'm talking about. REYNOR's, like, actually someone at Basilisk, his coach needs to sit down with him and practice defending Widowmine drops. Because this has fallen out of favor, and in the last few months, he's looked sloppy against it multiple times. He'll have, there's little things he does that are great, but then there's just like big mistakes mixed in. It's uncharacteristic. That Widowmine won't get a shot off. He deals with that a bit better, but he's got to be quicker at cleaning these Widowmines up and getting back to mining. And oh my gosh. Maru is literally free reign on the macro behind this. 4th command center is almost finished. He's got 8 barracks coming up. Yeah, Maru... Actually, it's not 8 barracks. It's only 5 barracks. His 5 barracks is so delayed. But he's killed 24 drones. I mean, it's not like it's crazy good trading. He trades a lot of units to do this. This really slows down Reynor's growth. Puts all the pressure on him. More Widow Mines. He's continuing. He's not going to stop anytime soon. One more drone goes down. That one will not fire. Wouldn't mind 1 or 2 more Spore Crawlers for Reynor. Hydras are finally coming out. Yet another Widow Mine drop going. I mean, there's a point where 25 drones doesn't really matter at this stage. This is negative trading. Reynor, I think, is maintaining a big enough economy. He's still ahead after this. But he should start shutting it down, right? If your opponent does the same move 6 times in a row, you'd expect number 6 to be more of a shutdown than the first 5. And indeed it will be, with the Hydras there. Things are on top as well. Oh, he does get in the corners, though. Nice placement on the unloads. He shoots an Overlord there with 2 shots. Only 6 drones. Once again, that's not cost efficient. Reynor's still mining pretty heavily. He's got 5 bases up. And Maru's not done. Maru's not done. Maru used to do this against Protoss a lot. I'd kind of call it the stress test. Where he's like, look, you can defend this. It's just really hard and it's really annoying. And Protoss players would like defend 3 or 4 waves, and then the 5th or 6th wave would get in and kill 30 probes, and then everything would snowball from there. Widow Mines. Uh-oh. Good reaction on the drones. I mean, his micro is really good. Reynor is such a high-level player, but one has to wonder if he shouldn't have already... I mean, like, he's got 3 spores on the left. He's got at least 1 spore on all the other bases. Fair enough. He's going again! Maru's just not going to stop. This is so clever because remember, Reynor is a much faster player than Maru. In terms of raw mechanical skill, Reynor is a far superior player, guys. What Maru's doing is trading inefficiently right now to not let Reynor attack him and to psychologically damage him. And this is allowing Maru to get to late game without there being any standard mid-game interactions where Reynor could out-multitask him. It's actually very clever. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to win him the game. That is not set in stone by any means. But Reynor, his creep spread's completely frozen, despite there being no Terran army on the map, just Widow Mine drops. There's a 5th base floating out. There's mass command center building. There's a mixture of mines, tanks, ghosts, bio. Don't get me wrong, Maru's not maxed. And he's down slightly in the upgrades. So Reynor's still in a good overall position with a big Lingbane Hydra Viper army. But he's also going to have lost track of where he is in the game. Reynor will not have his finger on the pulse. And I think he should have already attacked and denied this base because he's got the army to do it. But look, Reynor has been put in a passive mentality because you've just conditioned him. You're like, another 6 Widow Mine drops are about to happen. And Maru's just kind of he's getting close to max. Well, Reynor should have been maxed a minute ago. Now, Maru's stopped building units, which is a real big problem for him. He should have maxed out by now. He's just stopped building bio. He's only building tanks and mines. And I know 12 supply isn't everything, but like it does matter. I'm gonna mix a few more ghosts in now. 6 tanks, 8 Widow Mines spread across these bases. This planetary could just get busted. And indeed it will. He's actually just going to lose this command center and float a new one out. Very mature decision by Maru. Pulls the SCVs away and says, fine, take it. There's the rest of his tanks and mines, though. Feels like he's a bit light on these units. Reynor does chase just a little too deep, loses a lot of them. Quite a few Overseers go down as well. Units lost tab is, remember, it was a few thousand behind for Maru. And now, he's actually ahead by 200. So that was a few thousand resources swing in his favor, and he can just float one of these new command centers down, get back to mining very quickly. The trick is to not take bad fights and keep your army large when you're playing TVZ. On the right side, Maru does look a little light on the defense. A few Widow Mines and a planetary. These 2 tanks kind of far back. And I think you want to have a pack of something that's anti-Zergling. Whether that be, 16 Marines, 2 medevacs, or a few ghosts, something. You want something on the right side to guard against Zergling run-bys, because otherwise you can go in, spread against the Widow Mines, get on top of the siege tanks, and then potentially cause trouble. So I kind of like that the ghosts are nearby. Looks like he's heading them in that direction to guard. Ghosts are not bad against Zerglings. Double armory, guys. Double armory. He wants those mech upgrades for late game so he can go, this time, bio into Ghost Mech. Tank does get blinding clouded. Another one on the planetary as well. Good move. Really good move by Reynor. Should blow up that base. Oh my gosh. He should have got that orbital as well. I've talked about leaving money on the table, guys. Orbital snipes are one of the biggest things you could do at this point before Terran's at max orbitals. He could have sniped that very easily. Maru's not even repairing it. Maru's like, oh, he could have got that if he just clicked on it. I'll just let him kill it then. Oh, there we go. SCV does come in, starts repairing it. We'll douse that fire very quickly. Pig Rainer forgot +2 missiles. Yep, should be starting that. I mean, he's got 12 Hydras out, so it's not the most important thing, right? It's mostly Ling Bane he's playing with a handful of Hydras, but you definitely want to add those, especially the longer the game goes. Widowmine's trying to do some unburrows. 2 Widowmines go down without any big hits. Lots of siege tanks relatively undefended in the open. Quite a few of those go down. Zergling's getting on that right side as well. The Hydra Bane needs to get out of there. And those Zerglings unleashed on that right side expansion. Really good damage. Banelings find the ghosts. Ooh, he gets a good connection there. That was slick. Very good connections. Maru's transitioning to Ghost Mech. Yeah, absolutely, guys. That's why he's gone double armory. How cool is that? 2 more factories. So he's going to go 5 factories. And he's going to have the double upgrades for the Thors and the Hellbats. And he'll be able to add Blue Flame. Does need to remember to add that. But he's also going to have 3/3 Ghosts. Very, very cool. Reynor's got a few Banelings burrowed over here. Just hoping that can pull something off. But once again, I think he's let Maru get to the later stage maybe a bit too easily. Do you think there was room for a Broodlord timing, guys? I think there might have been against such a heavy tank play. Hydraling Bane kind of attacking around the corners. Good defensive setup. No Overseers either. The Ghosts are going to cloak, and that is a beautiful hold for Maru. Defends the left side at the same time. A planetary down here. 5,000 resources in favor of Maru. Now, Reynor still has a big bank. The way you play this as Reynor, because he's taken too long to go Broods, and I truly believe if he was going to go Broods, he needed to do it 2-3 minutes ago, start making that transition. Because he hasn't done that, I think Reynor has only one viable play. Remax on Hydraling Bane, shove the left and break through, Remax, shove the right and break through, Remax and shove the middle. Basically, by the 3rd Remax, your bank's going to be empty, and if you haven't done significant damage, you can probably tap out there. I do not think you're beating Maru in the super long game. Reynor is the kind of guy who will try to do it. It is not a smart idea, not against the greatest late game Terran to ever grace this game with his presence. Zerglings on the right side, really good run-bys. I mean, run-bys are obviously excellent as well. I do love that move. Ghosts coming very far forward. The Banelings got some big hits, but the Medivacs do save a lot of those Ghosts. A couple Ghosts get left on the high ground. Nice engagement on those for Reynor. This is really bad for Maru. This is very bad decision-making, because Maru leaves his right side wide open. And I think it's actually... Oh, wait, is it? Oh, he's going to get the hatchery. Okay, I thought he wasn't going to get the hatchery. So he's kind of just given up on the right side, and he said, let's just win the left. But there's no Banelings here. Parasitic Bomb does land on the Medivacs. Juicy Parasitic Bomb. But he picks up and then drops on the low ground. Banelings trying to hit these Ghosts. 3 Banelings on the Widow Mines would be nice. Nice detonate. Does take out those Widow Mines before they can fire, but Overseer's getting sniped as well. The Ghosts getting excellent trades. Well, is it really excellent? He's still only 5,000 ahead. If Reynor could just get his injects in order and actually remax right now, Maru might be dead. Reynor does lose this base, but I feel like sloppy trading like this, what Maru's just done is increase the tempo. And the reason I was questioning his decision to push here, guys, is if he just defends this side, he doesn't even need to defend this base. But I think he can, if he plays safe and defensive. And if this base gets blown up, it is what it is. As long as he holds this position and then he retakes it right after, it's going to be too costly for Reynor to continue. But instead now he's upped the tempo. He's thrown away a lot of army. His right side's very bare bones defended. And I think seeing what's over here, Reynor should max out, bust the left, clear this planetary, and do what I said. Just keep remaxing and busting. You can mix some Zergling run-bys in as well. Could be nice. He does scan and sees some drones on the top right, and that's where a Liberator going forward to harass would be lovely for Maru. Only one burrowed Baneling on the ramp, unfortunately. Takes, I think, 4 to kill the Ghosts. Not sure if that changes with upgrades. 4 Widow Mines coming in. The Baneling did detonate on those Ghosts, but he's attacking down a ramp right now, Reynor. The Mad Lad attacking down a ramp into siege tanks. His Hydras are stuck there. Terrible fight for Reynor. He targets the command center. There is no way he's going to kill that command center. And I'm not sure what possessed Reynor to fight down that choke point. I don't think it takes a master of pattern recognition to realize that's not a good way to do it. Chat says keep busting. Yeah, bust the planetary, not run down the tiny choke point ramp. I know some guys in Twitch chat just like to sit there going, you said a thing and he did it and it didn't work. Use your brain, engage it for 6 seconds, Twitch chat. Too much inbreeding in the Twitch chat today. No, I know you're just making a joke. It's fine. I didn't mean to go after your sister mother like that. Marauder's trying to pull backwards. The Ghosts and the Marines pulling down the ramp. The Hydraling Bane moving forwards. There's an Infestor sneaking in from behind, 2 of them, but I just don't know why Rain is attacking down this ramp. This is the worst possible angle for Rain to be chasing. If he's too deep on top of the ramp, it could work, but he lands the fungal! But he doesn't get the Ghosts. The Infestors go down immediately, and the Ghosts were too far back. The Banes don't connect. Reynor right now is headbutting. Raynor's talked about his biggest problem against Maru in late game is he does tend to headbutt against Terrans as the game goes later in general. But I mean, he should be remaxing and hitting the right side 100%. You've just committed to this side 3 times in a row. Sometimes you can double up on the same side, but you've got to go attack the right side now as well. I'm sorry, guys. Pig's a bully. Yeah. Okay, he does go to the right side now. Lings will clear the tanks pretty quickly. How quickly can Maru scramble units? Quite a few tanks going down. And this is already pretty successful. He also needs to clear this in the middle. He needs to get Overseers to clear that middle area. Could have busted in and killed these libs. Yeah, he's going to do it now. There's not that many units here, actually. Maru still hasn't reinforced. Clearing all of this infrastructure is very valuable. Reynor getting some big pickoffs, man. Maru has 8 orbitals, though, and every time he loses one side of the map, he's already, like, expanding to the other side. As much as I don't agree with Maru increasing the intensity of this game, I think he should play slow and calm. Because that's where you know Reynor's going to headbutt and just throw his army away, but it's pretty damn effective. +3 vehicle plating is almost done, so it's going to be 3-3 on these siege tanks. This is still the sort of game where a Broodlord surprise switch could do very well because of the high tank count, but it's also a decent amount of Ghosts, Marines, Mines. I mean, they're good against Mines as well, of course. They'll activate the Mines on your free units, which is really nice. Oh, that tank is in a terribly good spot. Oh, this is Sergeant Chadhammer 2.0. Banelings rolling forward. The orbital is open. But look at that. Marauders run up the left side. That tank does finally go down. But Reynor taking hefty losses there. He's got Burrowed Zerglings in the back. I would love to see him unburrow those in the midst of that. He's down 10k resources. And not only that, Maru's taking a middle base. I'd actually kind of love to see Reynor take this hatchery, but I do think he's got to hit this right side again. Even if it's just a 60 Zergling run by on this right side, keep hitting this right side. Every sensor tower, every gas that goes down, every SCV and tank snipe is brutal because you're just making Hydraling Bane, and this is an army that thrives on mobility. It's a very mobile and versatile army, and Festa is not going to do it. I feel like Reynor's fungal traps recently have been a little bit one-dimensional. You know what I mean? Where like he'll throw one fungal, but like there's no way you're ever going to get Banelings to those Ghosts before the fungal wears out anyway. Too many players are relying on the fungal. Fungals are good when your opponent's moving on the map. They're not good at breaking an entrenched position. You know what I mean? Viper's coming in for the Blinding Cloud. He does want the fungal. He's going to land it. Great fungal, actually. Wow. Wow. He gets about 8 Ghosts. Brilliant play. Zerglings on the right side. Do a distraction. They burrow in the midst of it. Please get that command center. Come on, Reynor. I'm actually cheering for Maru to win this series, guys, because I want a non-ZVZ finals. But right now I'm cheering for Reynor because I want it to be a 3-2 for Maru. Sorry, Reynor. Consider Reynor a friend and a cool guy. I cheer for him in spirit, but I got to do this for the balance of the tournament, man. We gotta get that 3-2. You beat Maru last time. He beats you this time 3-2, and then you get to beat him the next time. Okay, Reynor? Reynor's hanging in here. Breaking that position and getting those Ghosts was really good. 15 Ghosts have died this game, guys. Obviously, way more than 148 Banelings have died. Because remember, these are the Banelings that have been shot down. They're not the Banelings that have detonated themselves. Showing up there. Only 8,000 resources lost difference between the two. Gonna blow this base up. The SCVs will go down. And good choice to run away. Does he burrow a Zergling? Yeah, that's the Spite burrowed Zergling. Just to force a scan out. Ooh, clearing these buildings is nice. Maru's poor, guys. Maru's poor. This base being denied is huge. The fact that he lost this base and these 2 bases, I think Maru made the classic Serral mistake. We call it the Serral blunder because he's done it against Serral so many times in big series where he tries to go too fast to the expansions and he gives the Zerg those attack angles. And against Reynor, that's criminal because Reynor cannot compete with you in the end game. But if you give him the mobility, he will maul you with Hydraling Bane Viper. Pretty interesting engagement. There's a lot of Marauders and Ghosts in reserve. Those Banelings just entered a kill zone. that fight, I think it started okay for REYNOR, but then about 40 Banelings just entered a kill zone where a tank was firing from the left, a tank from the right, and there was a bunch of Marauders and Ghosts just all shooting them down. That fight was a bit nasty, and it is, of course, the result of a 2,000 resource swing now in favor of MARU, who's now up to 10,000 ahead. REYNOR needs to keep hitting this right angle with Zerglings, and where is that Broodlord transition? I get it. He's, you know, he doesn't have that many tanks, only 6, but that's because you've killed 30 siege tanks. To not build Broodlords in this sort of game where MARU is in survival mode, just trying to hang on, Broodlords would be a checkmate here. But, as I've talked about, Solar and REYNOR are both immune to building Broodlords until everything else doesn't work. Both of them have this part in their brain where they go, I only build Broodlords if 3 other attacks fail terribly in a row. Then I will do it. He's going to go Lurkers. Lurkers are not good against mass tanks. They are good for Niduses in the production, though, which is obviously what he's looking for. Zerglings need to spready. Spready. Widowmine's getting a few decent shots there. He finally starts to spire. He's had crazy bank for ages. This is one of those habits that REYNOR needs to work into his play. I've talked about it for a few years now, and it's really big. I don't think REYNOR wants to slow the game down versus MARU. Thing is, he's got 4k, 2k. Building a Spire and a Greater Spire costs you about 600 minerals and gas combined. That doesn't take away any of your tempo, and it means you can immediately build around a Corruptors and Broodlords and win the game. Whereas right now, the tempo is being slowed down because MARU has no bases and is now defending amazing angles. Infestor comes up from underground, does land a good fungal, but the Ghosts are still able to fade away. He is going to get rid of the base, though. He's got to focus that command center, I think, but the Ghosts are going to punish him, and that's an excellent fight for MARU. Holds the command center, doesn't get the snipes on the Hydras, but still up to 13,000 resources now. Another 1,000 resources in favor of MARU. Maybe not excellent for MARU. Maybe good enough, maybe not. Oh my god, does he already have Lurkers? 9 Lurkers are morphing. Nidus is going to go into the main. He doesn't have anything inside the Nidus, though. Oh, I think in a game where you've played no Niduses all game long, your opponent's guard would be down. I actually think this was a perfect game. I think that was a bad Nidus timing, guys. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. I think that's a bad Nidus timing because you've committed to a Lurker Surprise. It's terrible front on against Tank Ghost Lib. You have literally built a unit that is hard countered by everything MARU has. It's only good for the Nidus Surprise. You've spent 26 minutes not Nidusing. MARU's guard is absolutely down. To waste the Nidus on a timing when you're not attacking elsewhere at the same time, you're not distracting him actively, there's no way he doesn't notice that. So you've just kind of given up your big trump card while not distracting him. And he's doing it again. And I think there's no way MARU MARU! Oh my god, MARU's not noticing. He's got Marines right there. Oh, massive blunder for MARU. An absolutely massive blunder. Oh my god, that is a massive, massive blunder. And REYNOR's going to take advantage. This is going to do devastating damage. His main army can bust the front at the same time. Because look, the Ghosts are going to have to go back with some tanks. MARU knows there's going to be a bust on the front at the same time. REYNOR's got to go for the bust on the front. Maybe that down this left flank. I'm not sure where he's going to go. The Lurkers are smashing the main. Oh man, this is definitely not perfect StarCraft. Both players are playing very, very, good tactics. And they're forcing mistakes out of the other one. Lurkers are going to evict him from the main. Massive lost money and depots, add-ons, all this sorts of stuff. Here we go. Nice snipes coming down. Very good snipes. Ooh, I think maybe REYNOR should have got out of there, guys. But he's going to bust the left side. He took a while to do it. Feel like he's given MARU time to deal with everything before he goes in with this, and REYNOR blunders. REYNOR gets the planetary and 13 SCVs, but that's not enough. He lost every Hydra and his Viper. He was getting shelled there from that whole side. He took way too long to commit to that, and his gas bank's entirely gone. He's got 3k minerals. He just killed the entire production of the Terran. And yet, despite that... Wait. Did MARU lose a bunch of ghosts to these Lurkers, guys? Or did he just F2 his units away? I think he might have F2'd his units back to the left. Dude, this game is such a crazy thing. Because REYNOR, what resources has he got? Okay, he's got 2 gases here. Oh, he needs to take these right now. He's got 2 gases there. He's just started mining these 2. Oh, and he's stealing MARU's resources there as well. Dude, these resources are huge. Because remember, these count doubly. These are minerals you're damaging from MARU by stopping him from ever mining them. And you're getting them yourselves. If you ever mine resources from your opponent's side of the map, it is worth so much. Oh, man. Oh, dude, this is a really weird game now. He's only lost 17 ghosts. MARU's been poor for a while. Viper waddles in and dies. It's a massive Ling Hydra bust. The Widowmine shots are necessary. The Marines and Ghosts come forward. REYNOR has to back off. REYNOR needs to stay wily. He can not just headbutt. He's got to keep hitting the right side with Lings. If he just goes in with 80 Zerglings from the right, he can disrupt. There's a lot of infrastructure here he could clear. But how does he ever break the left side? 12 siege tanks are up. 36 have died this game. Broodlords would still be excellent in this game because all he's got, Maru's broke and he's got 11 Ghosts and 19 Marines. Broodlord Infestor is a checkmate in this game. It's a checkmate REYNOR's been ignoring for a long time. Now don't get me wrong guys, REYNOR and MARU are playing some of the highest level, best CVT in the world. But it just goes to show how stressful StarCraft is, that because I get to see the whole map and study all these games and watch them all the time, I'm able to point these things out. Sometimes people get annoyed at me pointing out things the players are missing repetitively. But as a player who doesn't have to worry about doing 500 actions a minute, trying to split Zerglings against Widowmines, trying to find ways into bases when there is no way in, I get the privilege of being able to see things from a top-down view. These guys, of course, only have limited vision. Infestor gets scanned and taken down. Very clutch there. Infestor's a building, but no Broodlords. And as I said, whenever REYNOR's doing well with other units, he doesn't think to build Broodlords and Infestors. We talked about this a few years ago when Roddy was really saying, you need to sometimes build Broodlord Infestor. It's very good. And Infestor's a really good unit. And basically they had an ongoing disagreement, as the good friends they are, where REYNOR would, every time he built Infestors, he'd say, see, look, they're really bad. And Roddy would be like, mate, you'd already lost the game. You only built the Infestors. This was before he used burrowed Infestors. He would like just not build Infestors. He would refuse. He said Infestors are bad. He'd lose like 8 fights in a row, and then he'd build Infestors, and then he'd like lose because he's so far behind and he's not good at using Infestors as well. And he'd go, see, that's why I don't build Infestors. And Roddy would be like, no, build them before you start losing. Do it a bunch and you'll start winning. And it was like 2 years of REYNOR just stubbornly refusing to build Infestors. And now he's like so good with the burrowed Infestors. And he's like, yeah, I should have been using them the whole time. But this is not particular to REYNOR. This is pretty much every StarCraft pro, because it's so hard to figure out how to make these things work. You have to fail so many times until it finally clicks. Massive Lingbane Hydra Infestor, huge fungal. The tanks are exposed, but the Banelings are quite clumped. The tanks are getting a few good volleys off, but what an amazing fight for REYNOR. He clears the whole army. These tanks are going to go down. The Ghosts are desperately trying to run away, and that may be the game-ending battle. Because yes, you're down 14,000 resources, but you've secured that mining on this base for the next few minutes. You've got these gases taken now. He didn't finish putting on this top gas, but I guess that doesn't really matter. How many resources does MARU... The problem I'm seeing is maybe MARU has more minerals on these bases than we give him credit for. Oh, REYNOR does not have a lot of minerals to mine. So I'm going to do a quick count, guys. He's got about 700 times 2. That's 1,400, 1,500, about 1,700 minerals there. Oh, no. 2,700. And then another 1,100. Okay, he's got just under 4,000 minerals left to mine. Maru's got quite a bit more than that. Especially if he does mine these last couple of mineral patches left around his bases. A couple hundred here, a couple hundred in his natural. Things trying to come in. Broodlords are now morphing. They should be great against the heavy tanks, but he needs to micro it very well. Yeah, you can already see there's like 4,000 minerals on this base alone. So 1,400 mineral patch, 1,250 mineral patch. He's got, yeah, a few thousand there as well. Yeah, this is actually bad for REYNOR, because REYNOR's down on army supply, and he's effectively down on bank because of that. He needs to do well in the next few fights. MARU just lost vehicle armor. No, you don't lose upgrades when your armory goes down. He already has all of his upgrades done. He rebuilds the armory because otherwise he can't make Hellbats though. Lingbane Hydra trying to roll forward, fighting in a choke point. Very dangerous for REYNOR here. MARU with an endless tank lib line. Oh my lord. And REYNOR just shoves into it with a bit of an A move. The Broodlords are pushing on the left. But look at that, the Ghosts come in. The Ghosts, he was trying to kill the Planetary at the same time. That's why he was trying to distract on the right side. But he loses so many of his Broodlords. And he needs more Fungals, but he's not able to get it. And this is, oh no, the Broodlords all going down to the Ghosts. That is not how you need the Broodlords to work. He needed the Broodlords to engage the siege tanks. But because he was out of position, he wasn't willing to give up this right side base. He should have rotated the Broodlords to fight these siege tanks. But attacking a Planetary when the Ghosts sneak up on you is a disaster. And he just lost 7 Broodlords, and he's lost 7 Infestors now in total this game. But if he could break this right side, maybe REYNOR can make something of it. Oh, he's going to get through a little bit. No, the libs do go down, but I don't think it matters. MARU's going to wear him down. What a close game. MARU had a massive advantage at about the 12-minute mark, pushed way too deep up this ramp while losing control of this base completely, let REYNOR take control from there, and then he knuckled down and just defended this area, and REYNOR could not find an attack angle. Attacked down here a few bad times, messed up, and his lead slipped away. If he went Broodlords earlier, I think he still could have won, but massive play for MARU. All right, guys, MARU in the top right side of the map for Vitality, up 2-0 here. I love that he went to mech late game. He went the double armory off of bio. Like, that was actually really cool. And it was not a normal bio play. It was, I'm going to have massively delayed barracks, but I'm going to spam Widow Mine drops at you and just create a lot more actions for you to defend my Widow Mine drop than I have to use to execute. And basically, MARU, even though it's still a lot of APM to do what MARU did, he made it so he didn't have to react to anything REYNOR did. He's just like, I macro, and then I unload another Widow Mine drop. And then I macro, and then I unload another Widow Mine drop. And then I macro, and then I unload another Widow Mine drop. And then I macro, and then I unload another Widow Mine drop. And that was MARU for like, what, 7 minutes of that game? I felt was non-stop Widow Mine drops. That was crazy. Chat wants gambles. Sorry, guys. I'm not prioritizing gambles today because these games are too good. Who wins game 2? MARU. I will try to do the next game as well. I'll give you guys a quick 30-second prediction for game 3. You guys are going to have to remind me, though, if you want to see those predictions, or a mod will have to take over. Either one, don't feel like you're spamming me. If you go, oh, could you pay it? Don't forget to pay out the prediction, or reminder to pay out the prediction, or reminder to do the gamble for the next game, because we've got an amazing series here. So, you know, I'm more focused on just having fun, embracing, absorbing what's happening than anything else. Pigfest starts in 4? Is it just 4 days? 4 days Pigfest starts, guys. I'm not sure if the groups have been posted to Wikipedia yet, but we might announce those groups probably tomorrow. Should be really exciting. Both of these players are invitees. They will be playing there. Shouldn't be playing against each other early, though. We'll be coming in as some of the higher seeds. REYNOR considered the best CVT player in the world right now, but he has always had MARU as one of his nemesis. A player that has a very good win record against him and frustrates REYNOR. Even when REYNOR won his world championship and he looked like he was in an entirely different league to MARU in the early and mid game, it was one of the most one-sided things you've ever seen. And MARU still won 2 games and REYNOR had to reversal it. Like, it was crazy. Like, MARU's late game was so much better than REYNOR's. That MARU would be way down and then he'd just mess REYNOR up in late game. And then REYNOR had to, like, go Mutalisks, because that was the one way he could out-multitask and, like, break a hole through MARU and get in there before MARU got to late game. And he ended up beating him with that. But, I mean, that was like, it just goes to show, like, even when REYNOR's in his best possible form, MARU's kind of in pretty outmatched form. He'll still find a way to win. And that's a testament to how smart MARU is. And I think his build orders have really been a pleasure to watch over the last few years. Wing speed's on the way. 3rd hatchery's already up and building queens. Let's see, 3 queens out, 3 more building. So very early 6 queens. And this is an early 3 command center for the Terran. Gets himself a creep tumor, but it was on the natural. It's Hellion Banshee. Does he start Cloak? Yes, he does. All right, so very typical opening for MARU. It's White Rabbit, which I think is actually a pretty good map for REYNOR. I think this map can be tricky as a Zerg player, but it can also be amazing because it's just big. It takes a while for Terran to get across, and there are a few big wide open areas where Zerg units can excel. There's also nasty corners where tanks can siege up just about everywhere, so it kind of goes both ways. You've got this big kind of corridor in the middle that can be really awkward when Terran sets up tanks and mines and stuff on both sides of it. Oh, Pig didn't turn it on. Oh, the avatars. Sorry, I've been forgetting to use the avatars. Yeah. Command center's there. Overlord floating through that main base. Alien Banshee floating down the right side. Laz on the way. Rainy's going to go for the straight line 4th base. I actually love this 4th. Good luck defending it from that ledge, though. I used to love this, I should say. And then I started taking this as my 4th on the left side, which is the one that Cyril prefers. Roach Warren's on the way. Rain is expecting mech. And it is indeed mech. Spores a little late. Transfuse on the next one. Yeah. Oh, he misses his next transfuse. 3 drones do go down. You could see the queen turned, but the drone was already dead before the transfuse could activate. Double factory, so 3 factory into double armory. Probably 4th and 5th factory from there. Should take the gases on the 3rd relatively quickly. Not just yet, but soon. Maybe around 6.5 minutes he'll take those. Double Evo chambers on the way. Upgrades are generally one of the lowest priority things to prioritize against mech. Yeah, like a lot of people will say just get 4 work bases of drones, get roach speed up, you know, make sure you get the correct units as quickly as possible is the most important thing. That is a massive Hellions. No Evo chamber. Okay, Evo chamber block comes in on both sides. Excellent play. And you can see he was thinking about cancelling this. If the Hellions ran around the right, he would have cancelled this Evo chamber and ran those drones out. Really good defense by REYNOR, but he's being forced to keep building Zerglings right now because he doesn't have roach speed. He doesn't have many roaches, and oof, he's got to be so worried about just the pressure that he's feeling. So many queens go to the left side. Is REYNOR only using 1 defensive queen control group, guys? Very sloppy. Maybe a decision he's made because he knows if he splits them up, the Hellions will jump on top of them, though. Yeah, it could be a conscious choice he's made. Indeed, the gases did go down right around 6:30, guys. So it's 5 factory, double upgrades. He's actually making mag field this time, so he's thinking about mixing a few cyclones in. So far, just 2 cyclones. Mostly siege tank focus has been the goal for him. Infestation pets on the way, 2 spores on the left base. REYNOR's been uncharacteristically slow to get the drones mining on that 4th base due to the heavy pressure from MARU. And it does look like REYNOR is devoid of any sort of attack timing. It looks like he's just going to try and lock horns with MARU and fight him in late game straight up. That's a decision which baffles me. I understand. I've every pro gamer, every high level player has had series where they just feel like they don't have a timing. They have to play it kind of standard. But difference this time is he's gone Hydroden, which makes me think he might play Lurkers. I mean, you can play Lurker Viper against mech. Kind of becomes a bit like a TVT. It's like a really weird matchup. And I mean, just a few Hydras alone to clear the Banshees also helps, of course. Fourth command center's there. Sorry, that's the 5th, 6th command center going up. He's going to try and wrap around. It's a lot of Hellions. The Zerglings have an excellent angle. Oh, beautiful engagement. Finally, REYNOR gets those Hellions off the map. Look at this. This base is an easy snipe. REYNOR, of course, relegated to 4 expansions. Hatchery does cancel. The Hive's almost finished. MARU's going to float out to a 4th base on the left and then no doubt a 5th in the middle. Blue Flame almost there. 2-2 upgrades have started for the Terran. Zerg is on +1 range Carapace. And he's playing Roach Hydra Viper with a pack of Zerglings. Guys, is REYNOR just going to try and use a mixture of Parasitic Bomb on Banshees, Blinding Clouds on tanks, and just split his Roach Hydra and hit from 2 sides? Because you can't duck siege tanks anymore, so I really wonder, especially with no Lurker Den, what his plan is here. It strikes me as very peculiar. Oh, Pig didn't turn it on. Yeah, I turned the prediction on before, guys. It was 30 seconds you had to get the gamble on. Spire's on the way, but REYNOR's kind of just sitting here on a garbage army of Roach Hydra Viper, guys. I don't know if he's just hoping MARU pushes so he can surround the army and then swap into a good comp, but like... Or is he going to play Hydra Viper Broodlord? I mean, that's not a bad army against mech, right? Hydra Viper Broodlord could kind of work. I don't know, man. It just feels odd how he's playing this. Ling's running ahead of the army there. REYNOR's style is definitely new to me. Don't normally see a top pro player just play Roach Hydra Viper. I mean, he's really banking on these Blinding Clouds landing in a big way. And yet he's not able to push in. The Banshees go across the map. I mean, I think REYNOR's just tilted off the face of the earth with how the series has gone. It looks to me like there's not really a sharp edge, a clear timing, a win condition. And that's something I'm not used to seeing in pro matches. It's very rare. It only happens when a player's kind of at wit's end and they're like, how the hell do I deal with this opponent? He's going to go Broodlords, which is a good call against the heavy tank player. Nice abducts. Gets himself a bunch of Banshees, but he's still traded negatively so far. If you're going to play this passive, you need to get crazy creep spread out here. Try to find some value. Hellions will run around the right side. I'd love to see the Roaches tracking it. He does have 3 spines on the left. No spines on the right side, though. Luckily, he sees these Hellions. He pushed the creep out pretty far, then the Hellions cleaned it up. I mean, it's not being bad on the creeps. I just think he might need more of a way of making a play happen. There's already a decent number of ghosts, but with so many tanks in the mix, if you just get 5 infestors, 8 broodlords, that would be great. But he's got to have a good fight before that. Things coming in, along with the Hydras. He's attacking from only one angle though, which is incredibly dangerous. He's got to get out of there. And if an EMP lands on those Vipers, remember how crucial they are as part of his army. He's looking to abduct ghosts right now. Then this is the gamble of all gambles, because that presents a very easy EMP target on those Vipers. I don't know about this choice for REYNOR. He's going to go into the Vipers front on. He lands a single abduct on one siege tank, and all of the Vipers get EMP'd. A rather predictable outcome. He's now building Zerglings with no Baneley Nest. REYNOR's style does seem to lack any sort of clear option for clearing this push. He's building pure Zergling right now, and it does feel like REYNOR's run out of options. He's either going to suddenly play the best Starcraft I've ever seen and pull a rabbit out of a hat, or he's simply going to say, well, I'm just building Lings, and I'm hoping something happens. He is making a bunch of Lurkers. He's done a Nidus Worm, but only a few Zerglings pop out. Hellbats deal with it easily. He's got to give up this middle base. Lurker range does finally start on the Lurker Den. There's Hellbat pushing forward, causing problems. Maru's going to struggle to get past 5 bases. Late game can be a little hard for Terran on this map with just how spread out the bases get. Then again, these middle bases are hard for Zerg to secure as well. Unupgraded Zerglings, guys. No melee on them. I don't understand the style that REYNOR was going for. If he'd rushed Lurker Viper, I understand, because he could have been trying to use Lurkers to stall and then counterattack with half of his army. But this Roach Hydra Ball is really not it. I don't want to be overly critical. I think REYNOR played excellent games previously with a few small kind of like tactical mistakes, or, you know, the overall strategic error of course, not committing to some sort of big timing, because I do think if you let Maru get to late game, it's a disaster, just because of who Maru is. But in this game, I just feel like there was no core plan. The confidence had been shaken, and it does feel like REYNOR's just kind of going, what the heck do I do? And he's trying something a bit different. The plan's not fully fleshed out. If you guys ever disagree with anything I say, by the way, I've had a few comments recently of people who get really mad. Hold on. Blinding Cloud comes in. Pretty good Blinding Clouds, but he just doesn't have any firepower to clear the Hellbat Ghost. He needs some Banes in there to clear those guys when he pulls off an engage like that. I've had a few people who, when I criticize like this, they say, oh, you're so bad, you misunderstand everything. As always, I'm always open to discussion, guys. Just post a timestamp, because I cast dozens of hours of StarCraft every week, so post a timestamp and just let me know where you think I'm wrong, what your analysis is, how we differ. Worst case scenario, we both learn a bit from each other's point of view and agree to disagree at the very worst. And that's almost never happened. Usually I either go, oh yeah, I missed that, I'm wrong, or the person I'm talking to comes around, or they just go, you're an idiot, no, you're poo-poo and you're wrong, without actually making any arguments. That's pretty rare though. Normally even the angry guys realize when I actually read comments, rather than just shouting vitriol, we can have a nice little discussion and all learn a bit more about StarCraft 2 as a result of it. I do not know everything. I am not the suppository of all StarCraft knowledge, as something I always like to say. Some people raise an eyebrow at that phrasing, but I think it fits. Command center on the right side does take some damage. Here we go. Ling's getting on top of some siege tanks. Oh, okay. Some good tank shots. Ling's running in the right side. Some nasty tank shots. He's got to start breaking these positions, though. Hatchery on the left goes down. Reynor's swapped into Hydraling Bane Viper, so he's gone back to the comp from Winter Madness. I mean, it's a good comp. I think it's a good comp for late game, but it's just taking him so long to make up his mind on getting to this point, which is what I do find a little hard to understand. 7,000 resources in the difference. No, definitely suppository, guys. That's... yeah. But yeah, we actually, like, a lot of the times I just miss something in the game. Because I'll be casting a live tournament like today for like 6 hours sometimes 10 hours. And I just miss stuff. Sometimes I don't catch it. I miss it observing, or it happens on screen, but I'm just kind of zoned out, or I miss it. So, yeah, it's actually good. You guys often keep me on point by just pointing out little interesting analyses and things that I wasn't thinking about. Zerglin's getting a few SCVs, but then they are trapped. No way out. With no burrow this game. Can't use the normal way of doing it. Nighty Swarm in the back goes down. Lurkers will deny this planetary on the left. Reynor going to late game. Once again from a very inferior position. I really feel like if he rushed Broodlords and just played Hydra Viper Broodlord, don't you guys think he could have done a pretty decent timing? Like, imagine if he got eight Broodlords out and there was only a few ghosts on the map. So you're kind of saying, look, I don't have Fungal, I don't have Banelings, but like, I just have really quick, like 6 to 8 Broodlords, and I can actually just push in and like make the siege tanks friendly fire. Oh, good blinding clouds, man. Really slick blinding clouds. Oh my god, they're so good. These blinding clouds were amazing, and good pullback. He knew he couldn't close in before that blinding cloud wore off. That was sick. The thing is, it's not consistent. Not with this many ghosts out. The ghosts come forward. He needs Banelings to connect with those ghosts. Oh, great. Dude, he just got some big Banelings on the ghost. Big miscontrol for Maru. Maru just threw away a ton of ghosts and Hellbats. There was a Nidus Worm trying to go up in the main at the same time, so I think Maru's screen might have turned away. Maru's going to try and nuke this now. He does EMP the Vipers. The ghost calling down the nuke does get sniped. The Hydraling needs to stop bleeding into this position, though. It was, oh, I mean, he's going to try and just straight up break it. Is Reynor, but he loses so many units pushing after that. Nidus Worm on the right side is there. He's going to pop some Lurkers out in the base, but, oh, ghosts are almost immediately on top. He could have maybe stayed a bit longer, but with nothing else happening at the same time, it's hard. Lurkers could come in on this left side as well. Maybe try and clear this, but a few tanks are there. And Maru, spotting tanks, libs, ghosts. He's also got +3. He's got 3/3 on the tanks. Ship weapons there. He's only missing +3 bio weapons. And he's well into that ghost mech. Pig, do you think Serral versus Rogue will be a shorter series? I think Serral versus Rogue will be over in about 40 minutes. I do not think Rogue will try to play late game against Serral, and I don't think ZVZ generally goes there at the moment. Oh, Hydraling goes for a surround here, but can't chase into that tank line. It just goes forever, doesn't it? There's so many tanks. Rogue might just cheese the heck out of Serral. It might just be how good is Serral at defending drone pools. Rogue is very willing to mix that style in against Serral. If it's a 3-0, I think it'll be under 25 minutes. Serral versus Rogue of gameplay time. Good choice here to give up this base, Reynor. He's still got to look for efficiency. He's down 8,000, which is, I've got to say, considering how far ahead he let Maru get and how slow he was to make a composition that could do something. I really feel like Reynor's playing out of his mind. Unfortunately, he's forgotten melee. Really needs to make that +2 melee. I mean, that's so important, but you can tell he's so far off book right now, off the standard path of what he would normally do in a game, and he's just trying stuff. That means he will make little errors like that. Oh, he's getting pushed into a corner. This seems like the reason in the map is so bad for Zerg against Terran. Yeah, well, definitely there's like nice ledges everywhere, but I don't know, man. I feel like normally the map architecture is going to favor Zerg more because these bases are so spread out. Like, how is the Terran able to literally dominate every area of the map at once? Well, the reason is the Zerg went 90 drone Roach Hydra Viper and just never had a mobile army till far too late. And by that point, Maru had planetaries everywhere. Like, Maru has been gifted control of this map. I'm not saying it's amazing for Zerg in late game. I think this is such an advantage for Maru that it's like, this is the dream scenario of everything going right for Maru on this map, because Reynor has just come into this map demotivated after the previous few games, unsure how he can possibly beat Maru. doesn't know if it's going to be mech or bio first, doesn't know what the hell he's going to play against either style, and he's just desperate. But this sort of counterattack is the correct play. Do not fight where the enemy army is. Lings get a tank, but then they do get cleaned up by the ghosts. Hydra Viper breaks through this right side. He could kill the planetary and then run away, but he could get cornered here, and you can see how afraid REYNOR is. He knows he can't lose this army or he's out of this game. Thank you very much, Kaiserigen, for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate you very much. 3 Infestors are on the way. Burrow's already been made, +2 melee, +1 flyer attacks. REYNOR's going to very slowly add all the pieces that he needs for a longer game. I think this is one of those maps where Terran can always set up a really nasty spot somewhere. But that's why, like I said, a Broodlord timing is really good for breaking heavy tank, number 1. But also, if you're just immediately counterattacking elsewhere, I think the giving up base game might favor the Zerg. But not when you're this far behind. 50 workers behind. Terran has 5,000 more resources in the bank. Banes roll forward. They do clear a lot of Hellbats, but the Ghosts mostly escape. The Overseer's flying around on top. There's not enough Hydras and things behind. And REYNOR is going to tap out. One addendum for this series, guys. REYNOR came into this series saying I wasn't going to play any StarCraft this week. I'll sign up because they asked me to, and I thought $10,000 Chinese tournament, that'll be cool. And the reason was his brother's there and one of his close friends from Italy. They were meant to spend the week traveling around Korea. I think he's still at home in Seoul, where he lives, hopping on and playing. But I think he basically said, I'm just going to hop on and just play games and not really plan for the series. And I think I think MARU's favored 2-1, probably. Maybe a bit more than 2-1 against REYNOR anyway in general. But especially when he comes in without a direct plan and MARU's just pushing to the late game so aggressively and quickly, we saw that it is like a very brutal match, right? It is a match where you go, oh my lord, like MARU, so good in the late game. And MARU made multiple big mistakes. He gave openings to REYNOR in this series. I would argue this was not MARU's best form either. Not at all. Letting lurkers in the main, pushing way too hard on Winter Madness. He made a few little mistakes and errors here and there. But overall, MARU's depth of knowledge of late game is just so far above everybody else's. He has always been the greatest late game Terran player for over a decade, and it's no surprise to see him crush the late game here. Last game a bit disappointing for REYNOR as he did look a little bit confused about what he was trying to achieve, but MARU, on the other hand, looked absolutely smooth. And honestly, whether he plays Rogue or Serral in the finals, I know we are in for a barn burner. GG, well played.